Okay, so this video is about marriage, but about how the enemy can come against your wife to get to your husband. And it's also something that is talked about in the Bible. God talked to Joseph in his dreams, and um, Jacob said he had a dream. That's how they get the little thing with the little string, what they say, the Jacob's ladder. Jacob said he had a dream where he saw angels ascending and descending from earth to heaven. So God uses our dreams to talk to us. But every dream that we have doesn't always come from God. The enemy can also interject into your dreams as well. So this is what this lesson is. Well, not a lesson. This is what this video will be about. I'm looking to the left because I'm holding my phone because I wrote it down. The dreams of the enemy, or enemy in your dreams. So I had a friend tell me that 4 a.m. she woke up not in a good headspace. She had thoughts brought to her about a friend of hers, a guy friend, sleeping with other women. Then she got very emotional about it. But she couldn't figure out why she was so emotional because the key word was that he was just her friend. So she started to calm down. Then the enemy caused her emotions to just go haywire. She started crying, but she didn't know why she was crying. Then she started to go back to sleep and did, but she kept having these thoughts planted in her dreams, so she began to cry in her sleep. And I had a dream, oh my God, it was like probably like 10 years ago or more. But my dream was I was getting married. And my dream was I was standing at the church, and it was like a waterfall. I don't even know what that was about, but it was really, really pretty. It was my wedding, so I'm sure it was amazing. But it was a dream, of course, because I'm not married yet. And in the dream, I saw my husband, but I couldn't see his face. That was the part that got me. So I was like, okay, this is my husband. But in the dream, I was crying. And I felt myself in my bed, in reality, crying too. So I woke up in tears. I was like, oh my goodness, that dream was so powerful. I know that was God. But I never saw the man's face, like, ever. I remember the dream only when I'm talking about somebody having a dream about something, but other than that, I forget it. That's kind of strange, but anyway. But yeah, I had a dream like that, so her dream isn't far fetched for me because I've actually cried in my sleep in my dream, but I woke up crying like, whoa. But anyway, deviated a little bit, but okay. Then she started to go back to sleep and did, but she kept having those thoughts playing into her dreams, so she began to cry in her sleep. Then she asked God. Keyword: she asked God. Perfect timing. What was going on with her? She was asked why. God asked her, "Why are you crying? He is your friend." Then she remembered again. True, but she couldn't stop crying. Then she said, okay, I can't take this. I need him to leave because apparently he was there at the time. And she wanted to wake up, I guess, at 4 a.m. and wake him up and tell him to get out. Um, okay. Well, that's what she said that she wanted to do. She wanted to tell him to leave so she can get her emotions together. 4 a.m. I don't think that would have been a good thing to do. So God says you keep forgetting. He don't owe you anything. He is just your friend. So this is her talking to God now. So she tried to go back to sleep and did, but she woke up emotional. So she got dressed and went to another room and put on some gospel music. For some reason, gospel music seems to work, or talking to God work, or prayer. But listen to what she said. So she got dressed and went to another room and put on gospel music, and immediately the tears came. She just started just bawling. She was like, God, what is wrong with me? And she tried so hard not to cry, but the worship wasn't working, and talking to God wasn't working either. So she sat there and just cried to see if they would stop. So what she did was, instead of fighting that emotion, instead of fighting what was going on with her, she decided to say, okay, I give up. I'm going to surrender. So I'm just going to cry this thing out. Maybe it'll stop. So she said she started crying, and And they did. After she just let go and just started crying, she finally stopped. And they did. Then the tears stopped. Well, that's what she meant by it. And they did. The tears did stop, and she felt better. But still was emotional. So she asked God, "What is this?" God asked her, "Are you sure you want to get married?" She said, "Yes, because God, you want me to get married, and I also want a husband." So he told her it would be times when the enemy would try to attack her husband through her, and you have to know what to do. So she said, "Okay." And then God tells her that this was a spirit she once carried when she dated in the past. She would get upset with guys for no reason, just to be mean. So as her friend prepares for work, because her guy friend was still there, and he was preparing for work, God tells her that her friend is confused about why she's not talking to him. He doesn't know what he did. So God tells her to go talk to him. And at first, she didn't think she she does she didn't do it, but she does. And her tone is not light and gentle as the guy normally is used to her being, um, her voice being polite, gentle. And some women talk. My voice is always deep, so I'm like, yeah, this is my happy voice. This is my happy voice. So I mean, it gets squeaky sometimes, but whatever. But he knew which he'd known her long enough to know apparently that this voice wasn't her nice happy voice, and so she said that her tone was being forced. But get this now, God still allowed the guy to be polite, even though he didn't know what was going on and why she wasn't talking to him. And he woke up like, okay, did something happen while I was asleep? Little did he know it did, but it was nothing that he actually did. So, um, but he was still lost. But he was still polite to her. So he comes to the room she's in and then says goodbye, because he's leaving for whatever. And she says, okay. But now he looks sad. So the enemy seems as if he succeeded. This is what she tells me. The enemy seems as if he succeeded because now, not only has she, oh, that's water in my hair. Not only has she woke up emotional and don't know what is wrong with her, she's also affected someone else's day because now he's presenting his word self to the world as a sad person and he doesn't even know why. He's just going off of her emotions because he doesn't know what's going on. That is definitely a trick of the enemy. If the enemy can't get to your husband, he will use the wife to get to your husband. He'll use you to pick a fight, pick an argument, or whatever the case may be, just to throw him off his rocker. So just remember that, ladies, wives. Please remember that, your ladies, before you're married. So then God points it out um, to her. So she calls him, not to apologize though, but to pick a fight. Then she realizes she messed up, so she tries to fix it. She can't function now, so she asks God, what should she do? Great thing to do again. Ask God. Because you're not in control of your emotions as much as you think. This body we have, this temple we have, it's a loner. God controls every aspect of it. We can be walking down the street one day and all of a sudden be stricken with blindness, be stricken with paralysis, be stricken with a limb that doesn't function, a heart that stops beating. So this temple, this body, it's just a loner. We don't have control of our emotions whatsoever, and especially if you're married. If you're married, you just giving control of your emotions to your husband and to your wife. They dictate how you present yourself to the world. Because if you wake up and you have an argument with your husband and your wife, or your wife, then you project it out to everyone else. You shouldn't, but the world we live in and the way our flesh is made, that's what we do. It's hard to smile when you're sad. Very, very difficult. It's hard to smile when you're angry. It's hard to smile when things in your life are turned upside down. It's hard to smile when the one that you love or the one you care about is upsetting you or anything. It's difficult to still smile when you're going through a situation, whether that's a relationship of husband and wife, best friends, guy friends, son, daughter, mother, son, or whatever the case may be. It's difficult. So God is telling you, seek Him first, and God will tell you how to present yourself to the world. And it's a song. I gotta tell you about the song, but let me finish reading what she said. Um, so she can't function. So she asks God, what should she do? And now she does what God tells her immediately. No hesitation this time. But she now see where the problem started and where she should have just started ignoring the enemy. So now she prays for herself and for her friend. Keyword, see, he doesn't even know she's praying for him to have a great day because she feel like she's the reason that it could go bad, or she's the reason that he's presenting himself sadly to the world, and he doesn't even know why. So now she's praying for her friend, but not only she's praying for her friend, she's praying for herself as well. So she's not being selfish. She's thinking of the one that she caused the pain to, as well as, okay, I still have this load on me, and I need God to help me with it. So then she prays for her and her friend because she feel like this round goes to the enemy, but it doesn't. See, that's the good part about Jesus. Oh my God, God is so amazing. Amen, Jesus. Um, but it doesn't, because God gave her a chance to correct it. Even after she missed the first time, when God told her to go and talk to him or say something to him, and she went in, and her voice, her tone was uh wasn't abrasive. It was just probably like mine, deep and not polite. Uh, and she missed the first time. God knows when and where and how the enemy will attack his children, being us. And he is a God who never sleeps nor slumbers for this exact reason. One day with God, one day with us is like 1,000 with God. So while we're on today, God is, how many days is it in a year? 300. So God is 369, so 4 years ahead of us, or three and some change. But God is 4 years ahead of us, and we're just on today. So God has already seen how this day plays out. I've said this once before. I don't know if I said it on video or not. Picture it like this with God. A parade is going on, and it's a parade marching down the street. God is at the top of the building. He's looking over at the parade. Now, you're a spectator on the side, getting the candy on the street with the parade on the side of the street, and they're throwing you the candy. You can't see the at the top. You can't see the beginning of the parade. You can't see the end, and you can't see the middle, and you can't see what's about to happen. The fourth horse back, or the fifth floaty back, or the 10th floaty back. But guess what? With God sitting up there looking at all of it, He sees everything. That's how you should remember it. Things that go on in your life, God sees it. And it may be some things that you disagree with, and you may be upset with God about it, and oh my God, thank you, Jesus. And it's some things that happen in your life, and you're like, oh my God, what did I do to deserve this? God allowed it for a reason. You don't know what the reason is. Maybe God will tell you. Maybe God will explain it to you. Maybe He won't. But just know it's for your betterment. It's always for your betterment. God loves us unconditionally. And how you know that? Because we're all headed to hell. Every last one of us. And what did God say? Well, I love them just that much that I'm going to send someone to cover the sins and the things that they're doing that's wrong now, the things that they have done, and the things that I know they're going to do. So while we here in today, God is 4 years ahead of us. Those things that we're going to do 4 years from now, they're already covered by the blood of Jesus. That's how you know how much God loves you, because He sent Himself, His Spirit, in Jesus, and His blood was blameless. So anything that we do, we're forgiven. We ask for forgiveness, and God forgives us. He doesn't hold grudges. He doesn't keep score. He said He throws it as far from the east as from the west. And I don't know if you ever tried to pull the east to the west, but it's not going to happen. They're far away from each other. So just know that everything God set up, whether it's to show you something or to teach you something, everything is for God's benefit. God gets the glory no matter what the situation. If you feel like you're going through the same thing over and over and over again, ask God. Stop right there and say, God, what do you want me to get from this? Because I've been through this before. What am I not getting? God, show me what I should do so that I can move on to the next lesson. You ever been stuck in a song or are stuck in a situation and it feels like, oh my God, I feel like they call it a deja vu. I feel like I've done this before. Ask God, what do I need to get out of this so that I can move to the next step? Thank you, Jesus. That's a revelation, God. What do I need to get out of this so I can move to the next step? Yes, Jesus. God is so good. And now back to what she was saying. I'm almost done. And so, my after she told me all of this, um, I said, so God is a God who never sleeps nor slumbers for this exact reason. So the victory is the Lord's. The thing that is most important is she recognized it as something was wrong. And she asked the master. She didn't call her best friend. She didn't call her brother, her mother, her sister, her cousin. She called God. You know why? Because that didn't require her picking up a phone and taking a chance on someone not answering. Now, mind you, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Most people are not up moving around at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're still asleep, most people. So she didn't take a chance on calling, yes, God. She didn't take a chance on calling her best friend or someone here on this planet, on this earth, to ask them or get their opinion or just don't drop all of her issues on them. She asked the one who has control over the situation. My God, my God. So just remember that you may have a best friend, and it's fine to have best friends. I have a best friend. It's fine to have cousins and people that you talk to. But me personally, with all the failed relationships, some my fault, some not my fault. Um, I just feel like God is the one to talk to about this situation. Like, I really do. And not just a relationship as far as marriage, but also with a job. I was talking to my brother about a job, and my brother told me I should lie about getting a job. Well, that doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't. I feel like if I lie to get the job and they ask me something and I said it on the application, then I'm looking bad. And how can I say that I'm a woman of God, or I'm trying to do my best to please God, and I'm trying to be a disciple of God, and I've lied to get this job? That's just me. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. I'm just talking about me. Me personally, I just couldn't do it. So until God decides to do something different and put me in a different field or whatever, I have a degree in this field. I still haven't got the job. I'm still getting emails saying we picked someone more qualified. God knows what He's doing. I don't know the big picture. Like I said, I'm the spectator on the street watching the parade. God is up there looking at it all. He sees it all. So, whatever God decides, I'm absolutely okay with it. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. But I'm still okay with it. I'm absolutely resting in it that God knows better for me than I know for myself. Because I made some decisions in my life and I was like, oh my goodness, I wish I never did that. So I'm okay. I'm okay with waiting on God. Absolutely okay with waiting on God. So, um, the thing that is most important is she recognized that something was wrong, and she asked the master what was wrong and what she should do. Now, it could have went another way. Her getting angry at her friend and accusing him of doing something that she saw in a dream. Now you hear me. This is something that was implanted in her dream. The enemy injected these thoughts into her dream. Now this man is asleep. I don't know if he's next to her or whatever. But he's asleep. And in her dream, she saw him cheating with another. I was told he was cheating or whatever the situation may be, but he's asleep. Now, can you imagine being woke up at 4 a.m. being accused of something? that you may or may not have done, but bottom line, that's your friend. So, so it could have went that way, but thank God that it didn't. But she was silent until she could figure out what the problem was, which was the emotional feeling she was having and the overwhelming feeling of crying and sadness, and the tears were just flowing, and um, she was silent until she could figure out what the problem was and where it was coming from. And she said nothing uh, to anyone but to the Father. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that's something to shout over. She said nothing to no one except the Father. She didn't bother that man. She didn't call her friends. She talked to God only, and she waited on God to respond. Amen. 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 A lot of times, silence is what's needed to calm a situation. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1 says, I love that verse. Like, oh, it's not my favorite, but it's definitely in the top. Excuse me, it's definitely in the top 100. Yes, I have 100 favorite verses or more. But the Bible is such good reading. I mean, you can't put a number on great verses. So Ecclesiastes 3 and 1 says, there's a time to be silent. Yes, God. There's a time to speak. In all things, acknowledge Christ. That's the point. So just know, wives, women, you're dating a man, and y'all are engaged, and it may feel like the enemy is attacking you to get to him. Just just make sure you go to God first. Don't call anyone else. If it takes you leaving the room, and notice that she said that listening to the gospel music wasn't working. Listening to praying to God, talking to God, it wasn't working. So what did she do? She said, okay, God, I'm going to let this play out, and I'm just going to cry these tears. But I need you. I need you. Like that song Smokey Norfolk says, I need you now, Lord. I need you. Just don't abandon me. I heard a song, oh, yeah, back to the song. It's a song called, by Daryl Coley, called Silent Cry. Amazing song. Oh my God, I went through this, like 2007. That song played repeatedly in my house. And when you hear it and you're going through something, and it's all about what they see on the outside, the song starts off as dressed up on the outside, things appearing well. Um, I forgot how the rest go, but that's how it starts. But Anointed Man of God, he passed, I believe, last year. But Anointed Man of God, amazing song. He has some other songs on there that's just amazing, so anointed. I mean, I have a playlist of songs. I worship songs that I spend time with God about. So, but it's another song that I've heard recently, that I never heard before, and it's actually really old. But I just heard this new up and coming artist named, I think I spoke about him once before on one of my videos, Kalante Gavin, sing He's Able. And the part that pulls me every time is the part when he said, don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. That last part, I mean, I had like a movie just playing through my head of times that I gave up on God. But when I went back to go where God was, or when I went back to, okay, God, I'm back. After I've done all the foolishness in my life, or and I'm not done doing foolish stuff. Trust me, I know I'm not, because I'm still living. But after I've done all the foolish things, then I run back to God. And guess what? Every time he took me back. So that song means so much to me. Oh my God, that song means so much to me. And that's just basically the thing I have for today. Marriage. This is still a marriage subject, but it talks about the enemy attacking your wife. This is a video for husbands and wives, actually. So Just know that God knows everything. God, even when we're resting, Jesus and God is protecting us, and Jesus and God is keeping us. And at all times, there's not a time, it's not a crack or a crevice or a shadow or a dark place or anywhere that God can't see where we are. It's not a place. Where there's God, there's light. So if you're in a dark place in your life as well, God is there too. And if you feel like praying isn't enough, or you playing the music and it's just not getting you to the place where you need to be, it's not releasing that spirit from your, it's not getting that weight off of your shoulders, just cry out. I mean, I've had times where I just could just said Jesus. And I mean, I was in worship for, I know, a couple of hours, and I still felt that burden. And I just said, okay, God, I just don't know what else to do. And I just said Jesus. And I mean, when I said Jesus, I said it, I know, I say 1,000 times, but I said it so many times. And the tears began to fall. The weight was lifted, and I felt, I felt it leave me. So don't just do one thing and say, okay, God didn't do it, I'm gonna do it my way. Or the music ain't working, God ain't hearing me, I'm doing praise and worship, I've done it for 7 days. Or then they walked around the wall of Jericho before it fell, a lot before God allowed it to fall down. So don't just give up on your first try. This young lady did not give up. God is still in charge of her life and my life and your life. God bless.